Hey guys, it's George. Today I'm going to work on the FroKnowsPhoto raw edit number 52. I think I'm going to start it off, for once, I never do. For these videos I always go straight to Photoshop, but I think I'm going to start it off in Lightroom and do most of the like color correction editing in Lightroom. And then I might bring it into Photoshop and do some like special effects, I guess you could call it. Just liquefying her and changing here and there and cleaning up a little bit more here and there. So let's hope it works out. Alright, here we go. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it into Lightroom, which here it is. This is the photo straight shot. I forgot how to take it to the develop module. Okay, so let's see. Develop module. Okay. Excuse me. Let's see. What's going on here? Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do, of course, pretty much I always do this first, is enable the lens profile. Whether in Photoshop or Lightroom or whatever, I will enable it because it does clean it up usually. Most of the times I like what it does. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the exposure, but I'm going to try to expose her skin and her face, and the background's going to get blown out a little bit, but I prefer that over the background being so dark, so light, and her kind of being dark in here. So I'm going to try to fix that. It's probably going to be about a stop. Yeah, see, that's already looking better. I wonder if I could go like a stop and a half. Nah, maybe a stop and a quarter probably. Let's see. See, already she looks better. The background got blown out, but you know, the truth is it didn't get that blown out. And I might, you know, definitely want to do some stuff. I'm probably going to crop, you know, something around like that. I usually want to leave a little more headroom, but I'm a little worried. And I get a little more. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Maybe something like that. I hate that the dress got cropped just in one little area, so maybe I'm gonna try to crop it just a little bit more so it looks like it was more on purpose than by accident, you know? Yeah, see, I think that looks better. She's got like a spider bite or something right here. I might fix that in Photoshop. Okay, so let's try the white balance. It looks like it needs to be warmed up. Let's see what daylight does. Cloudy. See, that's kind of cool shade. See, that's kind of, it's getting better already. All right, let me work on my blacks a little bit. Somewhere in there, fill. Somewhere in there, brightness, contrast, no clarity. See, I'm kind of liking where that's going already. Excuse me, man. Let's see, highlights. Oh, wait, I went too far. Let's see. Just playing around a little bit to try to get the best out of this. She's looking pretty good, I think. What was this shot at? This was shot at ISO 800, 32 millimeters, f4 at 1/500th of a second. I'm not sure what camera he used. Oh, actually, I think I did look at it early on. I think it was a D700. But this is looking pretty good, I think. As far as Lightroom goes, I think, well, maybe, you know what, I'm going to do some, maybe work on her teeth a little bit. Whiten her teeth just a little bit with my what's this thing called? I don't remember what it's called. the adjustment brush, and then you can go to teeth whitening. And simple. The reason I'm doing it here instead of Photoshop is just because some of these presets for this stuff are kind of already here, and sometimes they're easier just because they're already kind of set up and stuff. Sometimes I use teeth whitening to brighten things up, as you can see. See, that looks better. That looks pretty cool. She looks good. Yeah, I mean, there's not much else I want to do in Lightroom. I think I still want to crop it more. I'm sorry. Let's see. Yeah, see, I think that dress being cropped the way it was bothering me, but I think if I do that and it just fades away, I think that's a little better. I think I like that better. Probably going to get rid of that in Photoshop, maybe clean up some of this back here, and you know, maybe there's a couple of filters I'm going to do in Photoshop. So I'm gonna leave this off here and then move it into Photoshop. Let's see, edit, open a smart object in Photoshop. And I probably should have opened up Photoshop before I did this, so that didn't take as long, but maybe I could just speed it up or something. And let's wait for it to open up. I open it up as smart objects. It gives me the ability to go back. And actually, I think it goes back to Camera Raw if you double click as a smart object. Yeah, see, it goes back to Camera Raw because Lightroom is basically Camera Raw in a standalone program. I don't know if it uses Camera Raw. I'm sure it does, but anything that you can do in Lightroom, basically you can do in Camera Raw, except Lightroom gives you little sliders and makes it a little more user-friendly, I think. And Lightroom also adds the whole cataloging and stuff like that, which is why it's really good. Let me change my workspace so that you can see my layers and you can see what I'm doing. I have 2 monitors, so I usually use it, you know, my workspace, and it basically takes all my palettes to my second monitor and leaves me, you know, show you real quick, it just leaves this kind of whole area open for me to work. But for this, I will bring back my layers, my palettes. Okay, so the first thing I want to do, I definitely want to get rid of that spider bite. And I'll probably use a healing brush. It'll probably be the easiest way to do it. You want to make sure I always use my own layers. Call it healing. Everything on its own layer. I don't like to do anything straight on the image because, well, what's the point? I mean, that's why we have layers, so we can use them. See, that was quick and painless. It's not that I'm excuse me. It's not that I'm ever going to go back. So I mean, yes, if I was going to remove that, yes, you technically could have removed it in its own layer, but why? What's the point? So maybe I'm going to remove a little bit of these freckles. And the reason I like doing this in Photoshop is because the healing brush lets me kind of paint it in instead of Lightroom has the what's it called? Like the little clone tool or whatever. And it's just not as fast. It's actually a lot slower because you have to click and then drag and find a little point where it's going to go from. And this, you can see with my Wacom, I could just like click and basically it's way faster. I mean, 10 times faster. I could just go around and, I mean, you know, you probably shouldn't remove all the freckles just because it's kind of part of her. But I'm going to add some makeup onto her skin so that we can clean her up a little bit. Let's see. I might also do a little bit of getting rid of this kind of fatty lump. Beautiful girl, but you know, let's really make it beautiful. Alright, so the one thing I did want to do is get rid of this whole area back here. And you know, the healing brush just does wonders. This is one of my favorite tools in Photoshop. Yeah, that kind of worked. See, that's already looking better. I wish you would have shot it a little more. I usually shot it at f4. I wish you would have shot it at 2.8 or something, just to blow out that background a little bit more, but it doesn't matter. I think the color is better and all that good stuff. So what I'm going to do is I am going to make a selection here of this and hit, again, Command J to duplicate, see if it duplicates this on the layer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this, and this is going to be called Liquify, because I'm going to use a filter excuse me, called Liquify. And I'm just going to try to get rid of some of that pudge, I guess you could call it. And this is going to be pretty tough, actually. But let's see if we can get rid of it. We might have to paint some back in afterwards. Well, you know what? That actually looks pretty good. Just a little bit. Excuse me. Okay, so before and after. Now, what I usually will do is try to bring back some of that background because it gets stretched a little bit by making a mask. See, if I just make a mask and it'll bring it all back, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it back here and then make it disappear here. And it's still going to look a little stretched, but that's about the best you can do. But I think that definitely helps, so that's better. Yeah, I mean, definitely better. Okay, so that's good. Let's see, is there anything else I wanted to do? Her face looks really nice, I think. Alright, so let's do a little makeup. The way I do makeup, I literally just paint it in like if you were airbrushing makeup. You ever seen a movie set or a television set or any kind of set where they airbrush the model or the movie star or whatever? It's basically what you're doing here. Just gonna select a little brush and then sample color and just kind of give her a little bit of a touch-up, you know? And she obviously, I mean, this is her wedding day, so she probably already had some makeup. You can totally tell her skin is pretty smooth. But, you know, I'm just smoothing it out even more. Really low flow on my airbrush and then just kind of cleaning it up. Oops, too dark. So that's kind of all I'm doing, you know. It's just a matter of cleaning her up just a little bit. How much time have I got? Okay, 15 minutes. This shouldn't be more than 5 more minutes, I guess. Now I'm just kind of adding a little makeup, trying to give her a little modeling. Little here, little there. Even out her skin tones. And don't worry about going overboard a little bit because I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to lower the opacity just to bring it back a little bit. But see, that's already looking better. So let's lower the opacity to somewhere like in the 75 area. And let's see how that looks before and after. Yeah, I don't mind that. That looks pretty good, actually. Alright, so, I mean, there's so many other things that we could do. But I'm just not feeling it, you know? Like, just doesn't seem like this image lending itself to too much. Just seems like this image just wants to stay the way it is. That's not bad. I added a gradient map, a little orangey gradient map to give it a little bit of warmth, a little bit more warmth. I think that's where I'm going to stop, guys. You know, if I was doing this for a client or, you know, really spending a lot of time, I might get rid of some of these leaves, you know, some of the ones that are really distracting down here, this rock right here, And again, that would just be done with the healing brush, mostly. You know, you could just kind of go in there and really kind of clean them up. But for this quick video, I'm probably not going to do too much. See, now I'm stuck doing it. Oh, you got to be careful when you got edges like that, because it will pick up that white. So now I'm just quickly, usually, you know, I would probably take more time and really be delicate and stuff, but right now I'm just, no, see, that didn't work. I'm just going to leave it for now. Take too much time, but I would probably clean that up and maybe even blur the background a little bit more. These are things that I would probably do. Do I want to sharpen her? No, I don't want to. She's kind of, I don't want to, I mean, I think he might have missed the focus just a little bit. I think she might be just a little bit out of focus, but I don't know. She looks really good. So, you know, this is a pretty beautiful wedding shot. The dress got a little blown out maybe, but that's my fault. I like to sometimes blow things out. There's a kind of a harsh line over here that I'm definitely going to try to get rid of real quick. And the way I'm going to do this, I'm just going to paint white. A lot of times, you know, you'd be surprised how many times we just paint it, you know, just like add a little white here and a little white there and a little black there, and nobody will ever know, and it'll make it look better. So don't be afraid to change the image a little bit. See, that's better. I just blend it out a little bit better. All right, so that's where I'm going to stop. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will be bringing more videos, so make sure you subscribe, and I'm going to be doing some kind of interesting stuff. So I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you next time. Thank you.